What's going on, guys? Welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and in this video I'm going to be previewing our upcoming fixture against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. And even though we have such an appalling record against the big teams, losing to United this season, losing to Chelsea, drawing with Liverpool, I feel strangely confident going into this game. I don't really know why that is. Maybe it's because we performed so well against Stoke City last weekend, and I don't really have any right to feel confident considering how we perform against these teams. We lost 6-3 to Manchester City last season, but I do feel that potentially if we were to win this game, it would be a massive turning point for our season. Whether we will or not really remains to be seen, and I think it's going to be very, very difficult for us to do so, mainly because of that mental stumbling block that we have against the big teams. If we were to play like we did against Stoke City last weekend, then we certainly have a chance going into this game. And City go into this fixture without a recognised striker. Yes, Sergio Aguero is coming back into the frame of things, but I doubt he'll start considering he's lacking match sharpness, and he's just come back from his rehabilitation process. On our own injury front, we are missing Mikel Arteta for another 3 months, and Mathieu Debuchy for another 3 months. And in that defensive midfield department, we are looking lighter and lighter and lighter. And whilst I'm on the topic of that area of the pitch, Francis Coquelin is an absolutely massive game for him. Consistently recently, he's been putting in really good performances for us. If he can do that against Manchester City this weekend, then potentially he could be a resolution to our defensive midfield crisis. I certainly don't consider him as being that long-term figure that we need. I mean, we need a Nemanja Matic figure, etc. And I know that we're looking at this Bilic guy from Legia Warsaw, but he's again a player that's not going to be our long-term resolution. Actually, he might, well, saying that, Bilic at 17 years old, at only just 17 years old, he may be potentially a long-term success for us. But we need someone established, someone like Matic in the middle of the park. Coquelin, he's a bit of grit in the midfield. Technically not the best of players, but he's done a really good job for us. I've got to give him praise. He's been absolutely fantastic. If he can get past this stumbling block that is Manchester City, if he performs well and he continues to do it against big teams. I remember a couple of years ago he put in a really good performance against Chelsea away. If he continues to do this, then he could be a really good squad player to have. But like I say, I do still think we need someone a bit more established in the middle of the park. On a more positive note though, we do have Aaron Ramsey, Theo Walcott and Mesut Ozil all available for selection in this game. So I think there's real question marks here over whether they'll start the game. I mean, who would you drop? Would you drop Rosicky? Would you drop Cazorla? Would you drop Chamberlain? Personally, I think that we're going to need the prowess of Chamberlain and Sanchez on the flanks. Maybe I'd be tempted to bring in Mesut Ozil for possibly Thomas Rosicky, but I certainly wouldn't want to see Santi Cazorla dropped, and I don't particularly want to see him utilised on the left-hand side of the pitch, because quite frankly, I don't think that does his confidence any good. I don't think we see the best out of him. I think, in a way, it's wasting a position where another player could potentially flourish, so I don't think that's going to do us any favours whatsoever. And the same goes for playing Mesut Ozil on the left-hand side. So maybe I'll bring Aaron Ramsey in for possibly Thomas Rosicky, start with a midfield of Coquelin, Ramsey and Santi Cazorla. Maybe not start Ozil in this game. I mean, he did only have about 20 minutes in the game against Stoke City, and I don't think we've seen the best from him just yet. Maybe this would be a bit of a big fixture to throw him in at the deep end, and I don't think we've seen enough of him just yet. So considering the form Santi Cazorla's playing in the middle of the park, I would certainly start with him in the centre attacking midfield role. I wouldn't be tempted to bring Ozil in just yet. So the team that I'd like to start in full is David Ospina in goal, Hector Bellerin at right back, Mertesacker, Koscielny, Nacho Monreal, Francis Coquelin, Santi Cazorla, Aaron Ramsey, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Olivier Giroud and Alexis Sanchez. I'd like to see Hector Bellerin start at right back. I thought he played really well against Stoke City, and obviously I do think away from home his performances haven't been great. I do think there are times when he gets really nervous, but I think at Manchester City, I think he can do an alright job. I know it's a tough place to go, but considering how other atmospheres are, I do think that this could be a game where potentially he has the opportunity to relax and maybe potentially flourish in this game, which I hope he will. And Callum Chambers, I don't think he's looked that great at right back. I'll be honest, I do think his preferred position is at centre back. I think that's where he performs a lot better, and I can't really take confidence from the performances he's been putting in as of late. Whereas with Bellerin, I think he played really well against Stoke, and considering Debuchy's out for 3 months, I think he's merited a start in this massive fixture for him. So hopefully he'll have a good game and we see him start at right back. I would like to see Kieran Gibbs start this game, but I just don't know if he's fit or not. I mean, he kind of seemed to vanish off in that game against Stoke City. There was no even news that he was injured before the game. He just wasn't featured in the lineup. Wenger comes out after the game and says he was injured. Is he going to be back for the Manchester City game? I'm still not 100% sure on that. So for now, I'd start Nacho Monreal. But against Jesus Navas, this is going to be a massive game for Monreal. In away fixtures last season against the likes of Liverpool and City, Monreal was absolutely terrible. If he can perform in this game, I think that spell at centre-back has certainly done the world of good. He does seem to be playing a lot better at left-back, and I thought he had a really good game against Stoke. If he can bring that into this fixture, which I'm hoping he will, then I'm not too concerned about that. But with Arsenal, with our players, it is a case of consistency. One game they'll have a really good game, the next they'll have a really bad game. Consistency is the key. If we're going to win anything, then we've got to be consistent. This is where things have got to start for us. This is a big big fixture. Manchester City are of course going to pose a threat in the middle of the park when they've got the likes of Yaya Toure, Fernandinho, David Silva, Samir Nasri. They're obviously going to cause a lot of problems, and hence why it's such a big game for Francis Coquelin. I'd like to see Aaron Ramsey deployed alongside Francis Coquelin in a kind of pivot sort of thing, and Santi Cazorla maybe in a 4-2-3-1 as opposed to the 4-2, as opposed to the 4-3-3 that we've seen to have been occupying lately. We need to flood that midfield. We need to flush out the likes of Yaya Toure, etc., and make it difficult for them. I think Coquelin will do that if he's got protection alongside someone like Aaron Ramsey. Ramsey, as we saw before he got injured, he was really bombing up the pitch trying to get a goal. He's got to stabilise himself in this game, and I think that if we put in a good defensive performance, then we can get something out of this game. I honestly do think we could. I'd be happy with a draw in this game, but of course the win is the ambition. I'm hoping we could do it, but personally I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Leave your score predictions in the comments box below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, rate, and subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV. Check out my own channel, AFC Game by Game, and I'll speak to you soon.